Ladies and gentlemen, this is fantastic news. Forbes, Kevin McCarthy loses fifth round of chaotic House Speaker decision. Another Forbes article, what to know about Byron Donalds, the Republican challenging McCarthy for Speaker. Washington Post, who is Byron Donalds, the latest Republican nominee for House Speaker? Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida has been nominated by Chip Roy of Texas. He received the same amount of support as Jim Jordan. Apparently now Jim Jordan does not want, he actually could have, if he really wanted to and lobbied for it, gotten a lot more than the 20 votes he did, Jim Jordan, but he doesn't want to. He's backing McCarthy, actually. I think that right now people don't know what to make of what's taking place. We'll get to why Jim Jordan would back McCarthy in a second, but Byron Donalds would be fantastic. He's in the driver's seat now, and he can become Speaker of the House if a lot more than 20 Republicans back him. He has the 20 Republicans now. Chip Roy has backed him and nominated him, of Texas. He would be fantastic. And Byron Donalds on Fox News stated he had voted for McCarthy twice. Then he voted for Jim Jordan the third time. The fourth and fifth times today, McCarthy failed. This is the absolute best thing that could possibly have happened to the Republican Party for Trump, because you want Trump Republicans firmly in control of the House of Representatives. They are now. Even if McCarthy becomes Speaker of the House, he understands that nothing gets done without the shadow speaker of Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, Scott Perry. He understands the Freedom Republicans, that committee. There's another word, but for the algorithm, it's always a big problem. So anyway, I'll just say Freedom Republicans. Okay? Andy Biggs. You're not going to get Lauren Boebert. You're not going to get anything done without Trump Republicans giving a stamp of approval. Progressives don't have this within the Democratic Party. See, when Trump was in office, we had record low poverty. This is a fact. CNN, every publication reported it, but they tried to downplay it. We also had a reversal of never-ending military conflict in the form of the Doha Agreement that Biden completely botched. The only reason he abided by that agreement is because Trump negotiated it and reversed U.S. foreign policy. Okay, in terms of economic policy and foreign policy, it's a moral imperative to vote for a Trump Republican. They're not extreme. The only thing that makes them frightening to media and to mainstream is that they're against never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. They're against military interventions. They're against never-ending quagmires. They oppose the Lincoln Project. This is what makes Republicans scary, Trump Republicans scary to the average person. Okay? They don't care about media. They don't care about the apoplectic media coverage, but they also want Trump Republicans an economy that is much better than what we have now. And if that means energy independence, so be it. Fantastic. Biden released 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves. So you have to understand the hypocrisy on the Democratic Party side and the why Trump Republicans within the House doing what they're doing now is so fantastic. You want to get back to the world we had in 2019, not the world we have now, which is the fault of the Democratic Party, experts, media, a fabricated consensus that we see with Twitter. We saw with Twitter in the old regime prior to Elon Musk, government agencies, numerous ones, suspended 250,000 conservative accounts, primarily Republican and conservative accounts, banned Trump for no reason, for no legal reason. Even the people banning Trump said, well, gosh, can we? This was a power grab by Democrats. It was the Democratic Party converging with government agencies to silence debate, discussion, discourse, dialogue, and create a fabricated consensus. That's against the first. That's breaking First Amendment laws. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. every single day. I will have segments on this channel, videos. I am privileged and blessed to share the mornings with you every morning on this channel. 8 a.m., set your clock, set your dial. When you're having breakfast, driving to work, reading the newspaper, whatever. If you enjoy this channel, 8 a.m., expect a video forever on this channel. And 11 a.m. as well. H.A. Goodman's other channel, I have 2 segments out every morning as well. Also, 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. So, and if you want to become a member, please do so. The super thanks is below. To my new Patreons, thank you so very, very much. If you want to become a Patreon, that link is below. And you can go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. Steve Scalise, by the way, is now in the running as well, and I will do a segment on this also. The reason Steve Scalise is in the running is that he is a top Republican official like McCarthy, and all the Never McCarthy faction has to do, all the people who were voting against McCarthy and for Byron Donalds, if Byron Donalds wants the Speaker of the House position, he could get it. If enough people, if he lets it be known that he is, just like Jim Jordan didn't really want it. Jim Jordan could have gotten it also. Steve Scalise can as well. Okay, he's in a very good position because he's a high-ranking Republican. All they have to do right now, the reason that McCarthy thinks he's in the driver's seat, the reason McCarthy has 200 votes, okay, is because nobody can imagine somebody taking it from him. Well, 20 votes is less than 200. So there you go. The mentality is, well, eventually the Freedom Republicans will just, play ball, and eventually they'll. But what happens tomorrow when there's the 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then the next day we're going into next week, eventually the 200 Republicans that are voting for McCarthy can back Byron Donalds. They can back Steve Scalise. They can demand that Jim Jordan become a factor as well. All they have to do, and this is not rocket science, you find somebody like Byron Donalds that everyone will support, or Jim Jordan, or Steve Scalise. The people who don't want McCarthy will support Byron Donalds. The people who don't want McCarthy will support Steve Scalise. The people who don't want McCarthy will back Jim Jordan. That's not the case for the people who want the people who and the people who want that's the point. The people who want Kevin McCarthy, and here's the really important point. The people who want Kevin McCarthy, that's what I'm trying to say, will also back Byron Donalds and Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan if they know that's the only way to get a speaker. Okay, and also Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, you have a whole bunch of people, the Freedom Republicans that were very, very, that are very close to Trump. These are Trump Republicans. What they need to do is speak to Trump, call up Mar-a-Lago, and find a way to talk to him every day. If Trump says, look, how about entertain the notion of Steve Scalise? There's a compromise. He's already in a position of, or Byron Donalds. You make history. There's never been a black Speaker of the House. And Byron Donalds was nominated by Chip Roy, one of the Freedom Republicans. So that would be amazing too. And if Trump backed Byron Donalds, that would be fantastic. You go from 20 votes to 50, 60 votes in 2 days. Not even a day, not even an hour. Trump could do that with Byron Donalds or Steve Scalise or Jim Jordan or anyone that if people supporting McCarthy have an alternative to McCarthy that is also acceptable to the 20 Republicans never voting for McCarthy, then you have a speaker. But the game of chicken hurts the establishment. This is helping the Never McCarthy people. Okay, the hoopla and the outrage from Karl Rove, the Never McCarthy, the Freedom Republicans or Trump Republicans laughing at this. But most of the House of Representatives is Trump Republican. Anyway, Kevin McCarthy, although you might think he's not, is a Trump Republican. Okay, all the articles written about McCarthy in the mainstream, even before all of this, were saying that he's just going to do whatever Trump wants. And so that's a good thing. You don't want Democrats have run the economy and foreign policy into the ground. Like I say always, remember that God bless you. If you're watching this channel, if you're a Democrat or Republican, I don't care. God bless you. Have a great 2023. I'm just giving my thoughts in terms of politics. But I'll give you the up-to-date news. And this is a really, really important development because you have a situation where Democrats wish they could do this. You know, I was on the left most of my life, and I know the racket that exists. Oh, we're going to hold their feet to the flame. And, you know, the Democratic Party or the media doesn't care about the left, the far left, or progressives. Bernie Sanders and AOC run a racket where they just, and all the other million to 4 million sub pundits, they funnel votes back into the Democratic Party, promising Medicare for all and Green New Deal. And they know very well it's not going to happen. And they give little crumbs, and then they say, "Oh, look, this is amazing." They don't even do that most of the time. They wouldn't even vote for Medicare for all on the floor, on the House floor. Okay. They would never in a million years, whether it's Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or AOC, they would never in a million years challenge Pelosi. And you see what's taking place right now. This is only if McCarthy eventually just secures it. It's not a bad thing in the long run because he realizes that he has to deal with the most passionate base of the Republican Party at all times. So essentially Trump is going to be... Trump has to give, and Trump Republicans within the House have to give their stamp of approval regarding everything McCarthy does. This will only expedite impeachment of Biden, which has to happen because they impeached Trump 2 times on things that weren't criminal acts. They couldn't indict Trump. They haven't indicted him in 7 years of the most hysterical, apoplectic media coverage that he's committed a million crimes under the sun. Or every crime that's ever existed. But they can't prove it in the court of law. You can prove graft and potential bribery schemes with the emails that the New York Post wrote about. And the 150 financial transactions. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I'll be back in a couple of hours. I should have a live stream tonight, ladies and gentlemen.